Hello and welcome back to the Rams Right podcast. This is the Shrewsbury Charm preview show, but since we had a game midweek, we are going to review the Barnsley game. As always, joining me is Chris Holt. Chris, good evening, my friend. Are you well?
I'm well. You mean the Cheltenham game, Simon?
What did I say?
Barnsley.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. Okay. That's a great start, that is. As a start, as I mean, think, with massive balls up straight away. It's because we did Barnsley the other night, isn't it? That's why. Cheltenham game, that's what I meant. We're going to review the Cheltenham game and preview the Shrewsbury game.
Of course we are.
We are. And anyway, Chris, before, I do want to get your thoughts on it, but before we do, let's have a quick look at the highlights of it, shall we? Why not?
Worked really hard and did manage to keep that in. Dobbin is off and running. And he's running away from Rea. He has support from Knight. Now it's Mendez-Laing. Plenty forward for Derby. Could be a bit of disappointment that didn't at least result in a shot on goal.
Could have got round him, Smith. Should have been an overload down that right-hand side, sorry.
This is a fast start from the Rams. McGoldick. Past the defender. He tried to bend it in that far corner. Just wriggled through Ryan Jackson. Didn't need David McGoldick, but not able to find the corner.
Oh, don't you just love an advert? So yeah, that was McGoldick's effort. Which was very poor, let's be honest. It wasn't great. You can see what he was doing. They're obviously trying to bend it into the far corner, but yeah, that I think started.
It was in the first 2 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and I think as Owen said in the commentary there, it was a quick start from Derby, but to be honest, that really sort of was the highlights. It was just, I don't know, a lot of pace, but just lack of quality. Anyway, we'll go back to the highlights now. Oh, I don't know.
Inside, just uses a little.
God love YouTube, eh?
Oh, it's given away.
Shocking defending here from Cashin. It's poor.
Real
and
danger
it's
for
not
Derby
good.
here. Mays
But
in the middle.
he makes up well for it here.
Broom might go for it himself. And he allowed Aaron Cashin to come across.
Tell you what, if that had gone in, I would have been worried.
When Broom gets through,
not going to lie,
he's made quite a few mistakes this last 2 or 3 games, hasn't he?
Cash just delays it a little bit.
Well, yeah, that's it. He has been, like I said, he's supposed to be one of the best players in the league by ratings, but he's literally, he does have an error or two in him. But I tell you what, I tell you what, that's. Do you know, I first saw that foul there, I thought that could be a red. Looking back on the replay, I don't think it was a red. It was clumsy, but for me, it wasn't a red. It was rightly a yellow card.
Yeah, the ball bounces just in front of his. He genuinely is going for the ball on the half volley, and Dobbin gets there first.
I don't think he needed to go make the challenge though, because the ball going out. But tell you what, a big shout out to Rebecca Welsh, the referee. I thought she refereed the game very well.
She did, but she's got a good reputation anyway. I think you'll see her in the Premier League not too long.
Really?
I think they'll fast track her.
Oh yeah, she did. I thought she had a very good game. Definitely kept control of this one. What we got here then? I tell you what, the press is good. Look at that. Look at Dobbin. Look how quick he's up there. Now, this is that controversial moment. Well, I tell you what, he's missed-kicked that by a mile there. Is that a red card? Is that a second yellow?
No, I don't think he's trying. I think he's literally trying to put his hands either side of the ball. I don't think he's trying to knock the ball away with his hands.
It's not a foul. I'm glad she didn't give him the foul, but it did touch his arm. But I think you are right. He doesn't actually look at the ball and close his arms around it.
He's trying to keep his arms away from it. I don't agree with Sean Barker at all on that. I think he's got that completely wrong.
Yeah, that's good footwork from Dobbin. We'll talk about him later on in the show. Another good ball from Horahan, that is. Bang! Finish, that is. Perfect goal at the perfect time. right before half-time.
Because let's be honest, prior to the goal, it
we
was
were dreadful.
It was awful. And you've got to remember, we're playing Cheltenham.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, don't get me wrong. I'll take the goal all day long, but they were awful.
They were not good at all. It was, yeah. It was a mismatch, but we, as you said there, for the first, I'd say 30, 40 minutes, we just had no quality at all. The work ethic was there. The press was there. There was a lot of challenges going in, but there was just no quality at all. But Dobbin there took on 3 men, forehand, great delivery. And McGoldick, this is what he's good at, holding the ball up, nice little touch, no little flicks. Bang, good finish.
Do you know this isn't classed as a clear-cut chance?
Is it not?
No.
Why not? It's a goal. Bang.
It's to do with bodies in the way and what have you. It's not classed as a clear-cut chance because on the stats,
yeah,
Derby only have 1 clear-cut chance in attack, which I would imagine is Dobbin's goal because obviously.
Tell you what, it's good pressing that is from Knight again, force the error. Does he? Should he be looking at feeding McGoldick in there? McGoldick wasn't happy.
Yeah,
he's got to play
think Dobbin is selfish. I'm not, but he's a striker, isn't he?
He wants a goal, doesn't he? He's desperate for goals.
Yeah, yeah. And up to this game, he'd only had 2 in the league. That is.
Oh wow! Oh. Joe, it's got to be better there, hasn't he? Surely.
But again, he's wobbled this last. Yeah, we were been praising him.
Yeah.
Right up to the Wickham game. He's wobbled. He hasn't had a great few games.
No, he's not. Again, he's got there quick, but that's an easy catch. Let's be honest. For a keeper of his standard, that should be an easy catch.
What worries me more is the poor defending. We get to the ball first, and we still can't clear our lines.
Yeah.
And they've ended up with a shot on goal without the deflection, probably would have got in the top right-hand corner.
Knight again, well done. This is, look at that. Look at that. At last, that's brilliant. That's great composure from Dobbin there. Do you know what you said actually on our last pod about him not scoring because he didn't want to get recalled to Everton?
Yeah. Well, apparently, I heard through the grapevine that Dobbin heard our podcast, listened to it back to back.
Yeah.
And wanted to prove us wrong. Well, I tell you what, you hear the phrase "ball on a plate."
Yeah.
That was a ball on a plate.
He didn't have to break his stride or anything, did he? That was McGoldick there. Just showed his absolute class. The touch, this touch here. I mean, Knight well played there, winning the ball back. But this here, boop, see ya. Defender flat-footed. Tell you what.
Well, let's be honest. It was Cheltenham. I'll keep saying it, and
it was Cheltenham.
We'll get on to it in a minute. But you know, you couldn't have asked for a better game, really.
No.
A team are just pretty much safe at the moment out of the bottom 3. But I just thought they were the classic League 2 team that have been promoted.
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
No ambition, no real quality. Just let's hang in there this season.
Yeah, I agree.
But here comes Derby. It's McGoldick again.
There was a who was it? One of the listeners of the podcast said he'd like to see McGoldick and Dobbin up front. It's not bad shout. They seem to link up well, considering Dobbin was playing more wider.
I think a lot of it is to do with Jason Knight behind them, though.
I agree. Yeah, I think he works hard every game, but doesn't always get the rewards. I think he worked hard. He won the ball back a lot. And that's it. So that's the game. Nice 2-0 win. I think, Chris, that was more points over performance. I can still hear that in the background.
The game.
Yeah.
Well, if we go through the match stats, you know, it was 60% possession for Derby.
Yeah.
12 shots to 5 of Cheltenham's, 3 on target to 0, 7 off target to 2. Passing wise, Derby 427. Passes by Cheltenham 295. clear-cut chances. Only one, which obviously is Dobbin's goal. Only 3 corners for Derby, only 2 for Cheltenham, 3 offsides. And what I found staggering was there was 53, if my maths is right, 54 aerial challenges, which is a lot. That ball was in the air a lot.
Which is strange considering the fact that against Barnsley, quite right, it's down. Against Barnsley, we did play a more possession on the floor style of football, didn't we? So
yeah, and the only save that their keeper made was the save from Dobbin when he should have really squared it to McGoldick.
yeah,
And that, in the stats, Derby only have 1 shot saved. And I go back to what I said during the highlights. This was Cheltenham. I think if we would have had a team above 9th, should we say?
Let's say like a Peterborough, a Wickham,
Yeah,
even at home.
That performance would have got us nil point.
It wasn't great.
We would have been beaten. And I know people will be listening to this going, lads. 1 minute you're on the promotion bus, next minute you're slagging off the team. I'm not slagging off the team. We won the game. We did what we had to do, and I still believe we'll get promotion. What I'm saying is that performance was not convincing, was it, Simon? I thought it was very predictable. I thought it was very routine. There was nothing that was particularly different to the style. I'm not saying the style is bad, but I do think that the level of performance was just above 6 out of 10, which just scrapes us the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I don't know what it is. We've seemed to have lost that sort of je ne sais quoi, that pizzazz that we sort of possessed in that unbeaten run. We've seemed to have lost that. It's almost like we're trying too hard, or it's finding that right balance of being, again, as you pointed out last game, between arrogance and confidence. But we've got to find that balance. We've got to start working teams. You know, teams are going to come to Pride Park, sit back, and want us to attack them, and they're going to try and catch on us. But we've got to make those attacks of a certain quality. We can't just keep lumping the ball forward. You know, we saw when we got that little bit of quality in and around the box between Dobbin, McGoldick, and then Horahan, we got a goal from it.
Yeah.
But other than that, there was any other time you saw it, there was another chance for the handball. Dobbin there, we had 4 men in the box, and he miscued his pass, his cross, his shot, whatever it was going to be. You know, and like you say, on another day, a better team takes advantage of that. But I think on the whole, we have to sort of go, it's 3 points.
Correct.
We've bounced back. I hate that word, bounce back. We've got over that loss at Barnsley. And we've done it the right way.
I thought
that's just got to win. That was what yesterday's game. Tuesday's game was about, was getting a win.
Yeah, the biggest thrill for me of the night was seeing Bolton get beat.
That was important.
That was huge.
You said on our last show that how important, or there's going to be so many blips.
Yeah.
And trip ups from now until the end of the season, that this automatic spot, number one for me, Sheffield Wednesday will, with no doubt in my mind, I think now they've got the league sewed up.
I agree.
Plymouth are starting to,
Plymouth are starting to fall apart.
They are falling apart. Bolton again, obviously. So Peterborough though are rising.
Yeah,
everybody
Ipswich
wants
started to. Ipswich is steadying the ship again. Bolton. I said to you, Portsmouth are one of those teams that you don't want to play them. Any team between 9th and 8th, that middle pack have still got an outside chance to get the 6th spot. And Portsmouth, if they win their games in hand, they're back in the mix.
I think they do this every season. Though. They sort of come at you late, don't they?
They do. You're right. They're a late comer to the party.
It's going to be interesting, but I mean, on that game, obviously, there wasn't a great deal to talk about. 2 great goals. 2 good goals. But I want to just quickly talk about the sort of impact that Lewis Dobbins had. Now we've seen him come off the bench and make an impact. We've seen him start, not really do anything, get substituted. As I said before, his composure in front of goal needs some work. You know, he should be getting more goals. I would say, I know Sean Barker gave McGoldick man of the match on Tuesday night, but I would have given it Dobbin.
I agree. I think Sean, again, like Sean, good pundit, but I thought Dobbin was more influential in the game than McGoldick.
He looked a threat every time he got the ball.
Certainly the first half, definitely.
Yeah, he's got that sort of, just because he's only young, he's still got that enthusiasm that he's still playing football on the part of his mates. He wants to get the ball, he has, hasn't he wants to get the ball, run at players and score goals.
Yeah,
that's what he wants to do.
It's his jumper that's making the far end post, isn't it?
Yeah, basically that. And we've now got, I think this was the first time we've seen him make an impact for 90 minutes.
I agree.
You know, I think he was a key player. Yeah, I look now and I think, no disrespect to Tom Barkhausen, when he's on the left-hand side, he seldom makes an impact. He has good games and bad games. Mendes-Lang, you do have that sort of, when he gets the ball, go on, something's going to happen. And 85% of the time, something does. You know, he'll take on his man, he'll look to get the ball in the box. Dobbin now, for me, is that person on the left-hand side that is going to get you something now.
I'd love to out of the three of them, Simon, who has the most successful dribble percentage, i.e. beating their man and getting a crossover between the three of them.
I tell you what, it's a tough one. That's a good shout. At the start of the season, it would have been Mendes-Lang.
At the start.
Now what's happening is they realise how much of a threat he is that they're putting two defenders on him, and he's finding it a bit more difficult. That's where I think him and Corey Smith need to Corey needs to come a bit further forward and help him. I felt Dobbin with Hayden Roberts behind him. No, Lewis Sibley for me, not a left back. For you, not a left back, I'm sure.
No.
I think when Hayden Roberts has got, when Lewis Dobbin's got Hayden Roberts behind him, feels like more obliged to go forward and attack. I think he knows that if he's got Roberts behind him, he feels that there's going to be a less chance of a team scoring. Whereas if he's got Sibley, he knows he's going to have to help out more.
I agree.
Does that make sense? Yeah,
I agree. I think of the three of them over the season, I wouldn't be surprised, and there'll be some stato out there that'll be able to get this one out. So, you know, it'd be great to know if someone can tweet it, who has the most successful dribble attack rate between Barkhausen, Mendes-Lang, and Dobbin. I would put my money on Barkhausen.
Really?
I do, yeah. I think Tom is. Me personally at the moment, and this is controversial, I would give Mendes-Lang a rest. I would like to see Dobbin and Barkhausen, and rotate the wings. Yeah, I used to do it a lot coaching. I used to always switch the wings every 15, 20 minutes, because a fullback can easily get accustomed to what they're facing.
Yeah, I mean, we have done that. We have seen it in games, but I just don't, like you said, I don't think we do it often enough.
No, we don't.
Under Jim Smith, we used to do it a lot.
We did.
Under Jim Smith, Sturridge and Sturridge, Bayano, those sort of players, they'd always switch wings. One chop sometimes as well. Leon Burton as well. You know, you'd always notice them swapping sides.
You go back to the days of Nigel Callaghan and Gary Micklewhite doing it, and it's a tactic you seldom see nowadays. But I think the other thing that, going back to the game that we've emphasised before in the podcast, Simon, is that when we make the substitutions, they're not making an impact as much as substitutions do. I know we won the game at Port Vale. We've made Paul Warren's made some good substitutions. Don't get me wrong. That's not my point. My point is that we need to have the bench sorted next season. Whatever league we are in, we have got to. We've missed out on a number 9 in January. Let's be honest. I think there's been certain games. I think Barnsley is a classic example. Like, you could probably say Wickham to an extent, and you actually could say Lincoln at home to an extent where I really thought a plan B off the bench would have scraped us home a goal.
Yeah, well, true. I mean, you've mentioned number 9s there. We've got a lot to talk about on the show. So we'll move on to David McGoldick. Now, as we've had this discussion before, we're not going to go over the same thing again. You know, he's obviously our number 9. Never really played there before, but he has now eclipsed his highest goal scoring season. He's got 18 goals. It is now this season, 15 league goals. 5 assists. So 20 goals, and he's now joint second top scorer in League One.
Okay, didn't know that.
Not yet. He's level with. So I've I messaged you before the show what we can talk about, but he's level with a guy called Aaron Williams. Now Aaron Williams plays for Bristol Rovers. I think he came on a free last season from Forest Green Rovers. He was originally at Wolves, and he got 16 goals last season, and he's got 15 goals and 10 assists this season.
Wow, consistent then.
Very consistent. He is I mean, maybe someone that we should be looking at next season, regardless of what he's going to cost. He did sign a new deal in January to 2025, and I believe that if they were to sell him, they'd be looking at a fee for around about 5 million, which for a centre forward that not only scores goals but creates them, I don't think that's a bad fee, to be honest.
No, it's good. Excuse me. To get someone consistent at this level, actually, is quite rare. You look at the lad who last year banged in. Was it? I'm trying to think. I don't remember if it was Fleetwood or Morecambe. Carl. I can't think of his surname now. He banged in 27. We were linked to him, weren't we? He banged in 27, 28 goals, and then I think this season he's only got 2. It was more. He plays for Morecambe.
Right. Okay.
It'll come to me. You'll have a look. but he's fell off the radar as such.
Yeah.
And it just shows you that consistency key. You know, if you go from scoring 25, 26, is it Stockton?
Carl Stockdale.
Yeah.
Carl Stockton.
Yeah. Like you go from 25, 26 one season down to 2 the following, or 3 or 4. You know, Derby can't afford to have that type of player in their team. So going back to David McGoldrick,
Carl Stockton,
that's it.
Yeah.
I was never good with first names. Steve, sorry, Simon.
So yeah, he got 23 goals last season. That's obviously just in the league.
Yeah.
24, so about 25 goals last season for Morecambe. But yeah, this season so far he's got 3.
Yeah. So going back to your suggestion of someone to watch, it sounds like a good shout, mate. Going back to McGoldrick as second in the scoring charts, it's interesting, isn't it? With 33 games gone, 15 goals gets you second in the scoring charts, which is pretty low, really.
Well, the person at the top is Clark Harris from Peterborough. He's got 18 goals.
Yeah.
Interesting though. It's interesting actually. We mentioned about the goals and stuff. You look at, I mean, I'm just going to get up the top goal scorers for League One, because obviously, you've got Clark Harris, who's at Peterborough, 18 goals. Where are they in the league? 7th, 8th.
Yeah, they're hanging around, aren't they?
Yeah, you've got as I said, Aaron. What did I say his name was?
Wells, was it?
No. Oh no, I'm having a Mary. It's because I'm doing 2 things at once. There we go. Yeah, so Aaron Collins. Obviously, he's second with McGoldrick.
Yeah.
And it's not until you get to 5th, which is Connor Chaplin from Ipswich. That is. Oh, sorry. And thingy Charles from Bolton.
Yeah. Dion Charles.
Dion Charles. So Dion Charles has got 15 as well.
Yeah.
And then Connor Chaplin. But I'm looking, and it's Smith who's got 11 goals for Sheffield Wednesday in 9th place.
I bet Collins is.
And Hardy Plymouth has got 11 goals in 9.
There's Collins in 9th or 10th. He's got is he on 10?
Collins is in 14th on 9.
14th on 9. So going back to the Bolton lad, Dion Charles, he scored first for them, didn't he, on Tuesday? And Portsmouth got 3 really late goals.
Yeah.
Which I always love a late recovery, i.e. Port Vale. You cannot beat. You cannot beat a late recovery.
I'd tell you what, do you want late recovery?
You want them.
Okay, so picture mine back to yesterday. It's Alfreton Town versus Derby County under-23s.
Oh, okay.
In the something Derbyshire Cup or something like that.
Derbyshire Senior Cup, yeah.
That's the one, Derbyshire Senior Cup. Derby take a lead, 1-0. However, they're pegged back. With 88 minutes on the clock, it's Alfreton 5, Derby County 2.
Wow.
Derby County win 5-3 on penalties. I kid you not. Derby scored three goals in 2 minutes.
Wow.
Cool.
I bet Pat Lyons was loving that.
I bet he was having a party last night. 5-5 against Alfreton Town and win 5-3 on penalties. The forgotten man, Aduru, he was captain for us last night as well.
Was he?
Forgot about him, didn't we? Get right back, but yeah. So yeah, now that's what you call a late comeback, but a late drama there.
Did Rooney play?
I've not looked, to be honest, mate.
Oh.
No, he was on the bench for us.
Oh, because he was. Sorry, yeah.
Duh. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, strikers, McGoldick then. I think the coaches, I think Richie Barker was he said how surprised he was. Not only his goal tally, but how he keeps himself fit. He's a gym bunny, apparently. Always in the gym, always trying to keep himself working hard, keeping himself ready, keeping himself fit. At 35 years of age. Richie Barker said normally you get people like that are just sort of almost coasting, if you like, but
he's shredded, isn't he?
I don't know. I've
never.
Is
that the gym word? You go to the gym all the time, Simon. I've seen your TikToks and your Instagrams and you showing the world your guns and you're squatting and what have you. Is the word shredded when someone's looking pretty good?
Yeah, shredded. That's normally when they're lean. I don't think I've ever seen. I'm not really looked for a picture of Dave McGoldick without his top on, to be honest. I tell you who is shredded. Mendes Lang is shredded. He's every single time I see a photo of him, like a team picture of him in the change room afterwards, he's always got his top on. He is ripped.
Wow, okay.
But yeah, Richie Barker full of praise for him, and you're thinking a lot of and apparently as well, a lot of like after the game, the sort of things as fans we don't really hear necessarily are like obviously managers get together from opposite teams and have a bit of a drink and whatnot and a chat about the game and whatnot. And he's always the topic of conversation. How lucky are Derby to have David McGoldick?
But it fits for him, doesn't it? Where he lives, where his background is a Nottingham lad.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to commute far. He's a family man. It makes perfect sense of a guy at his age who's got a fantastic career behind him. His previous club was only up the road. Even if he was commuting, I believe, to Sheffield. It just makes perfect sense. Same as Hurrihan. If you're within the area and you can get to work and back within an hour, it's and have a family life and enjoy your football. And a friend of mine who works at the club did say that McGoldick absolutely loves being at Derby, even as a Nottingham lad, and we all know where he made his name and the club he made his name, and that's his hometown club.
Yeah,
but he doesn't act like a Nottingham lad in the campus. He breathes and sleeps Derby County, and that shows you the true professional he is. And apparently, he's unbelievably popular with the catering ladies as well.
It can't be.
Probably because he's shredded.
Probably because he's shredded. I'm going to say they're all over him. Oh, David, 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 show us your guns, David.
Yeah. Oh, David.
Well, his celebration is always that, isn't it? He's always He's always giving it to that, isn't it? You know what I mean? So it's quite funny. But yeah, no, I'm generally pleased that that I think to me, I was one of those that was a little bit it's David McGoldick, but he's 34, 35. Can't see him doing much, but wow, okay, yeah, I'm impressed. You just know, I don't. I think over the last 3 or 4 games, he's not played particularly well, not as well as he has done. But you know, he just needs that one chance.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely the absolute clear and obvious choice to win
Player of the year.
Yeah, I think Cashin will get young player. I think that'll be obvious. And I think that as if he's old, yeah, Cashin still qualifies for it, doesn't he? Because he's under 23.
Yeah. Is it 21, 22?
But I think McGoldick is
by far. I think it'll be between him and maybe Mendes Lang. I think Mendes Lang's quite popular, isn't he? He's got. I think if Mendes Lang can get back to playing the way he was, as you said, you think he needs a rest.
Yeah, I do.
But yeah, no. For me, it's
because he's in his 30s. Remember?
I know. Was he 30? He's 31, isn't he?
Yeah, 31, 32. He's in his. He's no spring chicken. I just think that if Didsey gets to 20 goals, the first strikers to it since Chris Martin, and then obviously prior to that, his good old Dean Sturridge.
Yeah.
I think he's hands on got that trophy.
Here's a thought. I'm going off topic here. Do you know who I think we should go for in the summer?
Go on.
Jamie Vardy.
Oh, is he being released, is he?
I don't know, but he's at that stage now where he's not got that. Though he used to have that couple yards of pace. He's sort of lost that pace for the Premier League now. But I think he'd cause mayhem in Championship.
Could you have a Vardy and a Rooney in the same squad? Controversial.
Oh, yeah, true.
Just saying.
Like, can you imagine that? Oh, that would be chaos. No, we'll not go for that. We'll be on the headlines again for the wrong reasons.
Uncle Wade.
You
won't believe who's come through the front door today.
Oh, I'd be all over it. Wayne will be like, tell me everything. Tell me everything. I need to know. Kayleen needs to know. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, let's move on. Let's
move on anyway.
This is supposed to be a review about Chelsea.
I know. We've reviewed Chelsea.
We sound like loose women. Chelsea.
Shut up. I don't know what's on. I need to put my teeth back in.
You need it.
I'm not, and I can't. I was awake at 5:30 this morning. Was supposed to go to the gym, but literally had the worst headache I've ever imaginable.
Well, what did you take for that headache? Because it's had the adverse effect.
I had ibuprofen for it.
That's what they told you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I think we should get USADA onto you. We need a sample off you this evening, please.
It's eggs. It's like Conor Benn. It's eggs. But yeah.
Oh, let's not go there because that's another subject.
Can't you tell I'm just all into sport, eh? Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Shrewsbury then at the weekend. I should be there with my kids. And the missus, the kids will all be there.
Kids for a quid.
No. Well, yeah, actually Alfie, who's
Alfie for a quid.
He's there for a quid. And then Oscar, I think, costs £6 because he's like 6. Pat, you think, why not? Oscar's been before with me. He went to the Birmingham game. But Alfie's never been, but always bangs on. Daddy, when are you going to take me football? And I'm thinking he's too young, but I'm thinking if they're both there, if Mrs. is there, it'd be fine. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Oh, it could be a disaster. Could be leaving at 50 minutes. I'm bored. That's what I got off Oscar at the Birmingham game. I'm bored. Yeah, I'm like, it wasn't the best game, but
just my advice to that is just get 2 rather large bags of Maltesers.
Well, yeah, that's what I did. I fed him up, and then he had this little drawing tablet thing, and he just did on that, and he was telling everyone to shut up when they were singing. I was like, dude, you can't. Anyway, we digress even. Words are gone, mate. I'm just going to pick a word, and what you're going to have to do is try and guess what I actually meant.
I've already just sent an email to you, Sada. I've just said this guy needs a sample.
He needs a sample. He needs checking.
Cool. Yeah.
Anyway, Shrewsbury Town. So Derby versus Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury, a team in pretty good form since the new year in the league. They have lost 1 game and drawn 1. So that's what I think.
That was recently the loss, wasn't it?
Yeah, was it Bolton? I think it was Bolton, if I remember rightly, or was it Peterborough?
I'll have a look now while you carry on.
But yeah, they are a team that have been changed by Steve Cotterill, their manager, experienced manager. He's been around for a while, and he knows what he's doing. He's he's changed their path. But
so Shrewsbury got beat by Accrington Stanley away on my birthday.
Oh,
so there you go. Their record. They remind me very much of Blackburn Rovers from the Championship. They either win or lose and seldom draw.
They've been winning a lot recently. Let's be honest.
But it's true if you have a look, Simon. Their record is 1-15, drawn 6, lost 12. Which their away record is 1-6, drawn 4, lost 6, 22 points. So their away record is very similar to ours.
Yeah. And well, I think are they playoff contenders now?
Well, they've only scored 41 goals, but they've only conceded 34. They're quite mean, aren't they? As a defensive unit, they're quite mean. And going back to the game we played at their end, I wanted to say Game Meadow, but it's not called that no more, is it? I can't remember what their stadium's called.
It's not Game Meadow anymore.
I'm sure that it's it might be. I'm pretty sure now it's got some form of sponsorship name. It was dire. It was absolutely doggy doo-doo.
Greenhouse Meadow now.
There you go, you see. I just think that they're going to come to Derby with a Steve Cotterill mentality of he plays a very rigid style of football, but he loves his set plays. One thing I found interesting about Shrewsbury, looking at their stats this afternoon, they've had 77 yellow cards. They are a dirty, dirty team.
Well, they got 4 in the last game against Wickham.
Yeah, they are and a lot of them are from their forward line. They are very similar up top to Barnsley, as we said. They are buggers up top, and they will kick ankles, and they will have cheeky let's say, the good old toe stomp. They don't mess around. But Cotterill's always been that with his teams.
Got Tom Bayliss in midfield.
He's an animal.
We were touted for him and all, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. I think he's got a pretty bad
he's
disciplinary record.
1, 2, 3. That's right. He's had 3 this year, put it that way. But yeah, it's not great. But yeah, I mean, I think it's one of them we need to be a bit careful of. I mean, what are they now? They're 9th in the league. They're 8 points off the playoffs.
Yeah, with a game in hand on us, aren't they?
Well, yeah, with a game in hand. So they are going to be a tricky character. I don't think it's. I remember when we did the pod post the away game, we thought, yeah, it'd be they'll come, they'll have a bit of a scrap, but we'll get the win, we'll get the job done, and that's what they did. They had a bit of a scrap. We were poor though. We were poor. We tried to play silky football, and it just didn't work.
No, it didn't. I remember the game quite well because if I remember rightly, the wind was horrendous.
Collins missed a sitter.
Yeah, it's his former club as well, isn't it? Didn't he play at Shrewsbury, Collins?
Possibly.
I'm sure he did. I just think that Cotterill's going to come with the mentality. Ultimately, they're going for 6th, aren't they? They're not too far off 6th for the game in hand. No. I think he will take a draw. I think he's going to go really rigid. The interesting one for this one, Simon, I would like your thoughts on this. I wouldn't be surprised if he tweaks it again, because I don't think he'll be happy with Tuesday night's performance at all.
It's possible. Now, it will be interesting because obviously Shrewsbury play a 3 at the back. We saw what Barnsley did with the 5 at the back. Our width is where we try to look dangerous, and we struggled against Barnsley. I would not be surprised if he tried to match them up.
I think James Chester might come back in, Oh
no, apparently not.
Apparently he's not ready still.
So just on the injury front, at the press conference, neither Bird or Chester are ready yet. Oh. They are Chester's training back on the pitch. Okay. He's back on the grass now. but they don't want him to. They don't want to push him yet. They're being very careful with him. Max Bird wants to play, he's desperate to play, but as the scans look good, but as they've reiterated to him, they don't just want him for the weekend, they want him for the rest of the running.
Yeah, the 10-game running is, I would love to see both them in the team. And I would say that if they are both available going into the last 10 games, and then we're within, I was going to say 6 points, but if we're within 8 with a 3-game swing, I won't be surprised at all to see James Chester go into a 3 and put Corey Smith into the midfield with Bird. So you've got tenacity and you've got calmness and skill. I think we've missed, like I said, I'm not going to swear because obviously there could be kids listening to this, but we've missed an absolute so and so in the middle of the park. I think Corey Smith and everything, we've got to that.
And Ithouse,
that's him.
Yeah, we have
one of them.
Like I say, yeah, I mean, at Cheltenham, we did see challenges going in there. I remember Goldrick. He lost the ball, but he stuck his leg in sliding tackle. Oh, that was a thump and a half. That was good tackle, clean tackle. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one against Shrewsbury. I just don't think we can afford to be complacent. The performance has got to be undoubtedly better than the last 2. We seriously need to up our game.
Last 3, really, including Lincoln.
Oh yeah, last 3 including Lincoln. No, because Charlton.
Oh yeah,
I thought Charlton we did okay. There was a lot more. We created a lot more chances than we have done in the last couple of games.
But if you look at all let's go back to Wickham. If you look at Wickham, Charlton, Lincoln, Barnsley, Cheltenham, what's that? 5? Is that?
Yeah, last 5 haven't been great.
Who would all of them? Not one performance stands out. One does stand out for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, that's Barnsley.
Yeah,
but on the plus side, we're now in March.
Yeah. Yes.
So the February curse is done with.
Hallelujah.
Now. Thank goodness for that. And it's one of them. You either believe it or you don't. I think it feels like it is a thing for us that February we do struggle when we're in a good position, but I don't think we've fallen too far behind. The gap's 8 points. We've still got a game in hand over Ipswich.
I thought we were level.
Oh no, that was the game in hand, weren't it? Yeah. So the game in hand's gone. We've won that. That's what we needed to do. Now it's just a case of right.
We're 3 points behind Ipswich now, aren't we? On level games. 3
points behind Ipswich, 8 points off Plymouth. Plymouth are having an almighty dive. That is when it's going to get interesting because we play Plymouth next, don't we? After Shrewsbury.
We do, and
then Oxford.
We do, and just whilst you're on that subject, I think whilst we're talking about that, let's look at. We always like to look at the other fixtures that are happening at the same Saturday. So Bolton have got Morecambe at 12:30 away.
That's an easy win for Bolton.
I think, yeah. Barnes are at Bristol Rovers. Now, Bristol Rovers are one of those teams that can sweep teams on.
Are they away?
They're away, Barnsley.
Yeah, Bristol.
I'm going to put that as a draw. I think that could be a sticky one. Ipswich are at home to Burton.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Burton of
Bristol's home form has been shocking recently. I'm just going to thought I'd put that out.
Has it? Oh.
They've lost 3 out. They've lost 3 out the last 5 and drawn 1. They drew against Ipswich, lost against Burton, lost against MK Dons, lost against Plymouth, but they did beat Cheltenham. So they have had some tough fixtures at home recently.
You see, it's one of those weeks where we're looking at other fixtures, and I'm thinking now, the only Sheffield Wednesday have got Peterborough at home, and Plymouth are at home to Charlton. So we need to beat Shrewsbury because on paper, the other fixtures look.
Sheffield Wednesday versus Peterborough would be a tough game, and I think Charlton will give Plymouth a game.
But they're still on paper look bankers, don't they?
I'm not so sure. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced Plymouth against Charlton's a banker.
Okay.
Is it a Charlton away?
No, Plymouth are at home. Yeah, Charlton away. Sorry, yeah.
The same thing.
Oh, it's something in the air tonight. Yeah, we're having a mare, aren't we?
Well, I mean, I know Plymouth had a good record at home park, didn't they? So I think they were undefeated till recently there. So, okay, but with the form they're in, I'm tempted to go for a draw there.
Mm.
Genuinely am. I think Charlton are quite a stubborn team. Charlton like to play football.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer of we need above us draws everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not a believer of this. Oh, I'd rather them win than them. I'd rather see 0-0 draws all around and reel in 2 points per game
Yeah.
per club, because I'm always been a firm believer. Don't chase one. Always look to chase the pack, because if you Eric Steele made a valid point, to be fair, on Saturday, when he says what you do is you chase one position at a time. So at the moment, Derby are chasing fourth to get a potential home advantage in the playoffs. But I look at it, to be honest, playoff football, as we've proven when we went to Leeds, I don't think home advantage is always necessarily beneficial playing second. I remember when we were in the playoffs many years ago, when we came, Razak was injured and Idiakes was injured. Who we were playing?
Southampton. Was it Southampton?
No, it was the year before. It was Burley.
Oh,
a couple of years before. Oh, and we were at home second, and we just couldn't.
I remember watching. I remember Razak crying.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He came on. He was crying because he couldn't. Oh, that's annoying. I swear it was Southampton. No, Southampton was the
Preston.
year after.
It was Preston.
That's it, Preston. Yeah, yeah.
Preston. Billy Davis.
Yeah, it was. And Southampton was the year after, wasn't it? When
Yeah.
It was
Billy Davis.
Idiakes scarred that penalty, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. So, talking about playoffs, like if you come third, fourth, fifth, or sixth, realistically, I think the only thing that's never nailed on is normally sixth. You normally have one team that pops up with a crazy last game result that gets you there. So I think that the results, we need to be looking at results around us. Ultimately, I think this is going back to what we've digressed a bit, but what I was trying to say was this Saturday, our game, I think, is the most difficult of all of the top six.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I think it is because, as I said, we are chasing. Shrewsbury are in good form. We cannot afford to perform how we have done in the last 5 games.
We can't. We'll get beat.
We will, and that is the truth. No matter if you think, oh, it's only a little Shrewsbury, it doesn't matter. Shrewsbury are in good form. Shrewsbury are beating teams like Peterborough. Shrewsbury are beating teams like Bolton, etc. People like that, teams like that. They beat Plymouth, didn't they?
Yeah, I think I'll tell you what was interesting, and I'm going to use a basketball analogy here with football, in the sense that on a court, on a pitch, you can get away with one of your main scorers having an absolute nightmare, an off day. You could possibly even say 2 have an off day on a football pitch or on a basketball court and get away with it. You can't get away with 3 or 4 having a bad day. And I think the Barnsley game, we had probably 4 or 5 having a really bad day. We cannot afford as a squad to do that. We need at least 9 of those 11 players out there giving us 7 out of 10. If you get 9 players give you 7 out of 10, you will win more than you lose. I think against Barnsley, we probably had 3 or 4 maximum at 6 or 7, and the rest was 5. I think Cheltenham was just a very flat 6 out of 10. Dobbin possibly at 7 with McGoldick. It just about scraped over. You cannot go into the Shrewsbury game with 9 players at 6 out of 10, Simon. I just don't think you'll get the win.
I said to you, come March, if we are there or thereabouts, I think we'll get promoted. That's what I first said to you.
You did.
This is when I changed my mind from mid-table to getting playoffs.
Yeah.
We're now at March. This is now where it gets important, serious, stuff now. This is where you realise where you're going to finish this season. Are we going to have another season League One, or are we going to be playing the Championship next season? I think now, if we can hit form again now, starting, well, we've had Cheltenham, but starting with a performance against Shrewsbury and a win, we then go into Plymouth on the up, 2 wins on the bounce. We get that win against Plymouth, then I think that'll be it. Then that'll be enough to give us enough confidence and enough boost to get us through to that second spot at the end of the season.
Well, we've got 13 games to go, haven't we?
Is it only 13?
Yeah, we've got 13 games to go, so we can achieve a maximum 99 points. Now, let's just say we drop 9 points between now and the end of the season, for whatever reason. That would give Derby County 90 points. Now, if you don't get promoted on 90 points, then you've been beaten to the top 2 by 2 very good teams.
Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it. You know, to me, Derby need to be aiming for 90 points now. So they've got 13 games to hit 30 points, which is over. It's about 2.2 a game, isn't it? Give or take.
Yeah.
It's 10 wins. Can it be done? Yes, it can. Will it be done?
It's not a bad running, is it? It's not the worst running of the world until the end of the season. And no. I know, like you say, it's 13 games and everything, and it's March. But this is, for me now, this is the serious part of the season.
Well, look at Barnes's run. Barnes's run, if I remember rightly, my dad was telling me this down at Elverson Castle. I'm a lovely sausage roll. I do recommend White sausage rolls. Other good sausage rolls are available, but White sausage rolls are very good. I'm pretty sure he said to me that Barnsley in the next 6 games have got to play 3 of the top 4, if not all the top 4.
Well, we've got to play Plymouth away, Ipswich at home, and Sheffield Wednesday away. The rest of the fixtures, Oxford away, should be a win. Fleetwood at home, 3 points. Peterborough away, I'd take a draw there. Obviously, want to win. Ipswich at home, got to beat them at home.
Well, yeah.
Forest Green away, should be 3 points. MK Dons again, another team struggling down the bottom 4, should be 3 points. Bristol Rovers away. Obviously, they caused us issues at Pride Park, but we blew them off 3-2. I think, was it 4-2? Yeah, 4-2 it wasn't it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think their 2 goals was just poor mistakes by us. Exeter away. Again, it's going to be a tough test down there. Bit of a trek as well. It's on I think it's on a Tuesday night as well. So it's not going to be great. Burton at home, bit of a bogey team. Need to smash them. And then Portsmouth at home. So the tough teams, apart from the only ones we've got, I'd say are tough fixtures, are Plymouth away and Peterborough away.
Well, if you now quickly switch to Plymouth's running, I'm going to tell you that my dad was right. So you look at Plymouth whilst I read out Barnsley. Barnsley have got Bristol Rovers away. Then they've got 5 absolute stinkers. They've got Portsmouth at home. They've got Plymouth at home. They've got Wickham away. And then Sheffield Wednesday at home. And then Ipswich at home. So they've got 4 out of the next 5 at home. 2 of them being the games in hand that they've got on us.
I'd say for Plymouth, they probably got the easiest run.
And well, I was going to finish off with saying with Barnsley, their last 8 or 9 games, I would love their running. To be honest, they've got to, if they can get through the next 5 games with a higher ratio of wins than defeats against all the teams around them, they could be a dark horse. Sorry, Simon, you were saying about Plymouth.
Plymouth got on paper easy run. The only fixture they've got with the top 6 are us away.
Yeah.
Sorry, us at home, followed by Barnsley away.
Okay.
After that, Forest Green at home, Accrington away. Then they got Bolton in the EFL Trophy. Then they've got Morecambe away, Lincoln at home, Exeter away, Shrewsbury away, Cambridge at home, Bristol Rovers at home, Burton at home, and then Port Vale away.
You see, now
I think that for them should these next 3 games for them will define their season.
Agreed. And I think Barnes' next 5 will as well. Now, finally, we're not going to look at Sheff Wednesday because I think Sheff Wednesday
they've won the league.
are the form. Now, Ipswich Town, they have Burton at home and Accrington at home. So on paper, you'd think that they've got 2 home banking games to come. Then they go to Bolton away, and then they have Shrewsbury at home, and then Barnsley away, and then us at Pryor Park, and then they are home to
that
Wickham.
little section there will be their season defining. The end of this season is going to be incredible.
March in general
is fantastic. By the sounds of things,
is crazy. Is the defining month. It's bonkers.
You know what? This is the thing that this is the reason why I love doing this podcast, right? Is because we've gone from just doing a Shrewsbury review and everything, which we have done a preview, sorry. But now we're looking ahead. We're looking a bit further forward, and now we're actually seeing how exciting the end of this season. This season's still got a lot to play for. You know, as you've said previously, there's going to be a lot of tricks. There's going to be a lot of trip ups, blips, all that sort of stuff. Now we're looking at the fixtures and we actually can see we're breaking it down. We're going, actually, wow, yeah, there's a long way to go in this season. Automatic spot, just because we lost against Barnsley, isn't out of the picture. There is so much. There's the top 6 sides all play each other. You know what to me? This is.
Do you know? I really think
I'm looking forward now to the end of this to March. Now this March is going to be interesting.
I think the key to success in this division, in the home run, and then we'll give our predictions for the Shrewsbury game. I think the key to success with this is who gets the teams who are currently fighting for 6th. Your Wickhams, your Peterboroughs, your Shrewsburys, your Portsmouth. They are the teams that we need to be watching because I think they're going to take points off everybody because they are going to be fighting for that 6th spot.
Yeah,
let's be honest. Yes, people are going to be saying, "Yeah, but Chris, we're fighting for first and second." To me, it's a different fight because if you get into the playoffs from 9th, if you scrape in, you have the momentum.
Well,
momentum is massive. Look at QPR back in 2014. We were the form team, but they scraped in 6th.
We scraped in 6th under Lampard. Let's be honest.
We did exactly, and
that showed against Leeds away.
Yeah, and I think if you can get results against those teams starting on Saturday against Shrewsbury, and other teams have got to face Wickham, who've got a new manager and had a bad start under a new manager, so they might fall away. That might have been a bad time for them. Yeah. They must have been paid handsomely compensation to allow their manager to go at such a silly part. That was bonkers.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, I think that's where the results are going to be so important against clubs between 6th and 9th. So going back to the preview of Shrewsbury, Simon, what is your prediction?
I think we'll change the team slightly. I think we might see a 2 up top. Okay. No, I don't actually, because I don't think we've got enough for 3 at the back if Chester's not fit. I think he'll pretty much stick with the same team, actually, just thinking about it. I think he'll pretty much stick with the same team that played against Cheltenham. I think Roberts will keep his place at left back. I think Dobbin's got to keep his place. That's without a shadow of doubt. I'm going to go. I think we've got enough to win it. Okay. And I think I'm going to go tight game. I'm going to go 2-1 Derby.
Okay.
I'm going to go Dobbin's going to score again, and I'm going to go McGoldick as well.
Ooh.
Same scorers.
So I think that the goals will come from the bench.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
You're making it sound like it's going to be a tight game until.
I think it's going to be a 0-0 half time, and hopefully I'm proven wrong. We all hope I'm proven wrong on that, but I think that there's going to be some substitutions made that will change the game, like Port Vale.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those games where if you can tactically tweak to get the extra 5% or the extra yard needed or the extra golden chance to win the game, I think this is going to be the most chess game like Saturday you'll see all season. This is a battle of two coaches who know their game and know what it takes. I think Kotter will come with a pure attitude of let's not lose this game and let's stay in the hunt. And Warney knows we've got to win. So it's a battle of brains. So I'm going to go for 1-0, second half goal off the bench.
By anyone who are you going to guess?
Well, who knows who's going to be on the bench, but I'm going to go James Collins. I think if Collins is on the bench, he's going to come off the bench. He definitely has played for Shrewsbury. I think he's going to score against his.
I'm checking
club.
now. I'm checking.
Please, because if I'm wrong, we'll have to re-record this.
Or
you'll be doing some editing. But I'm sure he made his name at Shrewsbury.
Here we go. James Collins, career. He did. Well done, Chris.
Thank you very much. 22 goals, 66 appearances. Oh no, actually, he's played for them twice.
Yeah, he has. He went from Villa to Shrewsbury, to Swindon to Hibs, back to Shrewsbury.
There you go. So there you go. You'd have to re-record now, Simon. So I think he'll come off the bench 60 odd minutes, and he'll get the winner 1-0, and I'll take that all day long. And I don't think there'll be any slip-ups anywhere else in the league. But I think that, like you said, March Madness, as they call it in America for college basketball. I think we're going into March Madness, and I think you are going to see some incredible results that are going to define the season for Derby County.
Definitely. Well,
not our own.
No. So let's fingers crossed we have a better performance and we can get that win. You know what? It would be nice to have a better performance, but at the minute, right now, this stage of the season, all that matters is 3 points.
Oh God, yeah, 100%.
That's all I can help for. Thank you for joining me again, Chris. We've gone on a lot longer than I thought we would do. But yeah, thank you guys that have stuck with us. Remember to give your predictions in the comments below. Remember to like the channel and subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it possible as well. That'd be nice. And thank you for watching. And obviously the podcast will be back again next Monday. We'll have Claire Lambert, Derby County season ticket holder, in the South Stand.
Yep.
She'll be joining us to give her thoughts on Shrewsbury. Fingers crossed we have a win. Chris will be back as well, I suppose. Let's bring him back. And I shall be back as well. So thank you all for listening. We shall see you next time. And as always, come on, Derby.